Hello and welcome to this reading for Dinghai Fusheng records. So previously on my other videos, I was like, you guys will vote all these things, but truth is there's not enough subscribers or anything for like voting to accurately happen. So for now, I'll just pick whatever I have in physical copy and I have on my plan to read list. So one of them is Dinghai Fusheng records. Now, if you didn't know, there is a Donghua for this. So if you guys are struggling a little bit with volume 1, I'm here to help you along, obviously. But if you want another like visual or another way to read volume 1, I believe the anime, like the season 1, covers most of this book and a little bit more of the second book. So had a lot of fun with that, and then I went to read the manhwa online. Love the art style, and then Seven Z's came out with this gorgeous, like these covers really got me, and I was like, okay, I know it's slow burn. There's like absolutely no romance in the first like 1.5 books. There's just like very slow. Maybe the only moments is like they acknowledge that the other person is attractive. So just know that going in. But I think with this author, Fei Tian, a lot of people think like a lot of his works are compared to Legend of Exorcism, and that's why you're not gonna enjoy it as much. This is set in the same world, the same universe, but you don't have to read one to read the other. So if you have that type of thing, like that thinking in mind, that mentality, just throw that out the window and then you're good. Just know it's completely different. It's slow burn, like probably one of the slowest of slow burns, and the world building and stuff, like it will get there, you know, and it gets really good. Book 2. I am a little nervous because there's a map on this, and the last book I tried with the map is Ballad of Sword and Wine, and I'm still stuck on book 2. So we'll see. I'm gonna trudge through this as much as I can. So subscribe, help me out. It's a new channel. Need to get 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch time. And of course, for the rest of the videos, go on Patreon. I think for this one though, I'll slowly release it on YouTube, like the entire thing. But no promises yet. I might make it like a exclusive, like to the highest tier on Patreon, or I'll just have it here. I think it's nice to have one for the channel though, so it's either this or Run Wild. I feel like Run Wild might be easier to read and record. Anyways, let's start. Chapter 1. Jin Dynasty, 4th year of Taiyuan period. First day of the 2nd lunar month, Shangyang. A sudden snowstorm swept through the ancient city overnight. The wave of cold froze the few remaining warm lights. The only sound left behind were the rustling of snow and the crackling of charcoal in stoves. Outside the city, 200,000 Qin troops surrounded Shangyang, waiting for the final battle against the Jin defenders. Chen Xing had been clueless about the city's affairs, and now he felt quite anxious. He could have arrived at any other time, so why had he chosen to come now? It had taken all his efforts to somehow muddle his way through Shangyang city, and now he had to look for someone inside the city, which was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Even if he did find the one he was looking for, how was he supposed to get out of the city by morning? Shangyang city had been under siege for a full year, and its ammunition and provisions had long been exhausted. The foot soldiers were too hungry to fight, and the civilians were too weak to flee. Yet they all still had energy to curse. Tensions were running high, and people were causing disturbances everywhere. So, footnote, it says the Taiyuan period is the reigning period in the Eastern Jin Dynasty. This was spanned for 20 years from 376 to 396 AD. The fourth year is the year 379. So 379. That's where we're at in this novel. Once he found his way in, it was no easy task for Chen Xing to locate Zhu Shu, the governor of Liangzhou, the one who was in charge of defending the city. He made his identity known to the governor, but before he could explain his purpose for coming here, Zhu Shu had already summoned all the military counselors and generals under his command. In an instant, the hall was filled with people, some standing and some sitting, as they waited for Chen Xing to speak. "Repeat it once more, in front of everyone. What are you?" Zhu Shu asked. Dressed in a black robe, Chen Xing sat upright before him. He answered earnestly, EXXOR, or cyst. He said, "He's a mage." Zhu Shu said to the crowd, "Not a mage," Chen Xing explained patiently. "I'm an exorcist." That's the third time I've said it. The resplendent lights in the main hall of the governor's manor cast a luminous glow over Chen Xing, accentuating his features. He was dressed entirely in black, a striking contrast against his fair complexion. Draped in an intricately patterned Han brocade robe, he had a tiny medicine bag strung at his waist and cloud-wading boots gracing his feet, and he held a small gold plate hand warmer. His eyes were covered with black cloth that only revealed his rosy lips and high nose bridge. He was blind. "Let me introduce myself," the young man continued. "My name is Chen Xing, the 481st successor of the Divine Land's exorcist, and the only great exorcist left in the world. I'm 16 years old this year, 5'8", 143 pounds. I'm from Hanzhong, and I'm also the inheritor of the exorcist's great undertaking in the human world. I came to Xiangyang on official business, and I hope to obtain Jushu Daren's assistance. Here, please take a look. This is a document issued by the Great Jin's Minister of Appointments, Xiaodan. In the crowded governor's manor, the counselors whispered among themselves, and the generals under Jushu's command eyed the uninvited guest with suspicion. Xiaodan. The handwritten order was passed around the crowd. "Where are the reinforcements?" Jushu demanded. He could barely contain his frustrations. "I asked Xian for reinforcements, and he sent me a mage. What's the meaning of this?" "Well, I don't know about any of that," said Chen Xing sincerely. "And I'd like to reiterate once more, I'm not a mage." As the murmurs quieted, Governor Jushu's heart quickened, finally prompting him to voice the question that he has long been weighing on his mind. "Can you help push back the huge army outside the city?" Chen Xing scratched his neck, thinking, It's hard to say. That depends on the situation, but it's most likely impossible." Exorcist, one of the generals who have been observing until now, spoke. "Can you scatter beans and turn them into an army?" "No," Chen Xing replied. "Have you ever divined through the stars?" Jushu asked. "Can you command the wind and rain and help everyone in Xiangyang out of the dire predicament?" Chen Xing was speechless. He pointed at his blindfold. They wanted him to divine through the stars. How was he supposed to do that if he couldn't see them? "Kid," another general chimed in. "Do you know any magic? Can you perform some kind of magic trick? Even if it's just for show, it doesn't matter. If you do it in front of the people, it will give everyone the confidence to defend the city." "Scattering beans to create an army is just something written in the books to deceive people," said Chen Xing innocently. "There's no such magic in the world. Well, at least not yet." Governor Jushu let out a sigh, as did everyone else in the hall. Their disappointment was palpable. Lord Governor, Chenxing said, the purpose of my trip here is to find someone. The crowd in the hall started to disperse. Jushu, who thought he had finally been thrown a lifeline, asked insipidly, "Who is it?" Protector Martial Gods is in Xianyang City. This person is extremely important, not just for me, but also for the entire world. Jushu looked at Chenxing doubtfully. This destined person has appeared 3 times in my dreams, Chenxing explained, each clearer than the last. From the latest dream, I'm certain that this person is in Xianyang City. As long as I can find him, Jushu felt like he had just seen a glimmer of hope, and his heart flew to his throat. You'll help us break through the Qin army? No, I'll leave without delay, said Chenxing earnestly. Everyone's really busy. I dare not hold up from you guys fighting your war. Jushu couldn't bring himself to reply. Please gather everyone in the city, able-bodied men in one place. Chenxing continued, for my evaluation, for me to seek out my protector martial god. I assure you that this matter is of great concern to the millennial well-being of the divine land. You will not regret it. Jushu wanted to ask, what kind of joke is this? This young man didn't seem to be lying, though. If this truly was some kind of prank, there would have been no need for him to venture into the city during its most perilous hour. To be frank, Jushu didn't know how he'd managed to infiltrate the city in the first place. Perhaps it was because he would be on his last legs in a few more days, or perhaps the phrase millennial well-being had struck a chord in him. But regardless, hope was growing fainter by the day. At the very least, he had a document from the ministry in his hands. Jushu suddenly found himself struck with an idea. He wanted to discern the true intentions behind the young man's mysterious actions. All the able-bodied men are in the army, Jushu said coldly. Look for him there, and we'll talk again once you found him. 2 hours later, the remaining 12,200 officers and soldiers in the city were called over and assembled urgently on the field outside the governor's manor. Many were even yawning. Snow fell lightly at dusk. A couch had been placed at the manor's entrance, and Chenxing sat on it, looking down at the dense, dark mass of people below. There was spirited discussions happening down there. People had been in want of food since the beginnings of winter, several months now. As soon as the army gathered, it was as if they had found an outlet to vent their frustrations, and they all started clamoring at once. Silence, silence, the chief general commanded in a loud voice. Seeing the situation was dire, Jushu realized that a riot was imminent if things continued like this. Start now, he urged. Chenxing was speechless. He raised his hand slightly, and it trembled a little before he finally put it back down. A military counselor from the governor's manor noticed the small detail. You seem to be a little nervous, he said softly. Chenxing immediately refuted this allegation that harbored evil intentions. I'm not nervous at all. Not among these people, Chenxing thought. Chenxing waited for a long time, but the guidance he expected had never appeared. He listened carefully, but within the endless darkness, only the rustling of the snow could be heard. Heart lamp, quickly, tell me where the protector martial art god is. I'm running out of time. The clamor intensified. The soldiers began to grow increasingly furious, their curses filling the air, and some even begun demanding provisions. Suddenly, in the darkness within the blindfold, a distant light appeared. Found him. Chenxing got up at once and hastened towards that light. Hey, hey! Exclaimed the general stationed beside Jushu. Where are you going? Chenxing briskly passed through the first row of soldiers, heading towards the eastern side of the training ground, so Jushu had no choice but to make his way down the stairs to follow suit. Soon, the general started dispersing the soldiers, urging them to return to their posts. The crowd realized that they had been involved in yet another farce. Everyone sighed in frustration and cursed out before heading home. After he left the field, Chenxing turned to the direction of the governor's manor. He looked every which way before making his way to the west side of the manor. What is this place? He asked. Jushu and a group of soldiers caught up with him. They lifted lit torches to look at Chenxing. The dungeons, said Jushu. A white light suddenly appeared in front of him. It was near now. Open the door, Chenxing said seriously. A general wanted to stop him. You can't go inside. Inside is... But Jushu mentioned for someone to open the door. Chenxing, still blindfolded, proceeded through the underground passageways of the governor's mansions, illuminated by flickering oil lamps. He made a turn and headed straight for the deepest parts of the dungeon. Before him, the guiding light pulsed occasionally, like a heartbeat. At times the room was bathed in brilliant light, while at others it plunged into complete darkness, with only occasional flickers emanating from the deep within the cell. In the depths of the dungeons, the cells on both sides were filled with eerie white bones and the mournful cries of prisoners. At the end of the passageway, from within the iron cell came a low, desperate groan, akin to that of a dying trapped animal. Chenxing stopped right outside the last prison cell. He stood quietly behind the iron grill partition. The prisoner, a man, was bound by iron chains and curled up to the ground. His entire body was bare, except for the tattered pair of shorts hanging around his waist. In front of him lay a moldy wooden basin, its contents long depleted. Evidently, he had not had food or water for several days. With the city under siege, survival was a challenge even for the good people of the city. Who would tend to those needs of a prisoner? The man was unkempt, disheveled hair was loose, and his ribs protruded from his emaciated frame. Whip marks could be seen all over his body, legs, and back. In this damp, moldy cell, in the deepest reaches of the dungeons, he was so sick that he could barely breathe. Although he was half dead, laid curled up, it was still clear he had a tall stature. His face, however, was so grimy that it was impossible to make out the features. May I trouble you to please open this door? Chenxing asked. No. The registrar objected. Kid, you don't know who this guy is. He can't be let out. The heart lamp chose him, insisted Chenxing. That's fricking bullshit. A general finally burst out, unable to contain himself. Liar! Lord Governor, this man is a liar. But Jushu wordlessly mentioned for someone to open the prison door. Chenxing walked into the cell and knelt before the prisoner. The man remained quiet and motionless. Then Chenxing took off his blindfold, revealing a pair of clear eyes to observe the man. The onlookers were stunned. Are you still alive? Chenxing asked him. The man shut his eyes tightly. His forehead was boiling hot, yet he was so cold that his lips were tinged with blue, and he kept shivering uncontrollably. The nauseating stench of rust permeated the cell from the remnants of diarrhea. After days without sustenance, his body was on the brink of collapse, and he was already close to death. When Chenxing poked him lightly, he flew into a sudden frenzy, Gasping frantically, Chenxing dropped to one knee, unhesitatingly, and placed his hand on the man's forehead. Soon, the man opened his eyes, his lips trembling slightly, before he finally closed them and slipped into unconsciousness. Chenxing gestured to his left and right for the chains to be unlocked, then went to lift the man. But he soon realized that even though he was starved and sickly, his emaciated body no longer resembled a human's. The man was still extremely heavy. He was nearly 7 feet tall. Chenxing couldn't lift him up so easily, so he had no choice but to let part of his body drag across the ground. He frowned at the others. "Give me a hand, won't you?" Jushu and the rest looked at Chenxing with a puzzled expression. "He was pretending to be blind," the registrar explained. "He was pretending. He really is a liar." And that is the end of chapter 1. We got a beautiful, beautiful image of them in the prison cell. And goodness, they look so good. The art is so nice. I specifically love how they drew their faces. Like the proportions and everything from this artist is so good. I used to do like art for like just a side hobby, but was really into it. And let me tell you, hair and also hands are quite difficult to do, and also like the side profile, but they made them look so beautiful and majestic. Yeah, I'm really into this art style. Chapter 2. After the length of time it would take for one incense stick to burn, a huge quarrel over Chenxing's identity had broken out of the governor's manor. One after another, people expressed that the young man's intentions were dubious and needed to be thoroughly investigated. The official document issued by Xia An is unlikely to be fake, said Jushu. What do you want me to do? A single document isn't enough to justify taking a death row prisoner away, a general said. He may be a spy sent into the city from outside, another person accused. Death row inmates are capable of committing all kinds of atrocities. Even if the city falls, we mustn't let them live. Gasping for breath, Chenxing sat on the threshold of the guest room in the manor. Having placed the sleeping man on the bed, he wiped his face, then went out to pour some water before retrieving a crimson pill from the medicine bag hanging at his waist. He attempted to pry the man's mouth open, but unfortunately, his teeth were clenched tightly, and between that and the constant quivering, Chenxing could not feed him any medication. He pondered the problem for a long time. In the end, he had to resort to chewing the pill, drinking some cold water to dissolve it, pinching the man's jaw, then forcibly feeding him mouth to mouth. Girl, why were all the rumors saying that this is slow? What do you mean we're already lips on lips? Like, we're locking lips already. Yeah. Yes, like probably slow burn wise in terms of like they're not gonna talk about the relationship or like get together, but you know, this is fun. This is fun. Is it him? Chenxing frowned as he studied the man's face and recalled when he had seen in his dream. Snow swirled everywhere in the city of Xiangyang, and the governor's manor stood right at the city's heart. There were no discrepancies. The heart lamp had flashed 3 times, first to lead him to the dungeon, the second in front of the dungeon, and the third, which he had stepped into the cell in the deepest part of the dungeon. "Who are you?" muttered Chenxing as he wiped the unconscious man's face. "Why did this heart lamp choose you?" Just then, someone came to deliver a message that Jushu wanted to see him. Chenxing still hadn't finished sorting his things out, so he wanted to ask Jushu to wait for a short while, but the messenger waited stubbornly outside the door. In the end, Chen Xing had no choice but to hurry out of the room behind them. The snow continued to fall. Jushu stood on the third floor of the governor's manor, overlooking the whole Shangyang. Chen Xing came up from behind him and faced the city's lights. In the distance, the music of a flute could be faintly made out, as if the player was weeping with sorrow. "Explain it to me as clearly as possible," Jushu began. "Otherwise, I can't let you take the prisoner away, whether you're an exorcist or not." Chen Xing studied Jushu for a moment. "My lord," he asked suddenly, "do you believe supernatural beings and monsters exist? Do you believe that I have magical powers? My hunch is that you actually don't." Jushu sighed. "My actions today were only for show, to stabilize the army's morale," he admitted. "Just tell me the truth. No more lies. Your real target is that prisoner. Am I correct? Who asked you to take him away? It can't be Xia An. Did the Hu people send you?" His face grew sterner with each word. "Think before you speak. One wrong word and your head will roll. Even if the city falls tomorrow, I'm still the master of it today. I can behead you at any time." Chen Xing stared at the sword at Jushu's waist, then met his gaze. He knew that Jushu had begun to sense that something was amiss. To other people, he was just a young man who played make-believe by acting mysterious. He had worn a black cloth over his eyes so that he could sense the heart lamp more acutely, not because he wanted to deceive anyone. Even Chen Xing himself had never expected that the person he was looking for turned out to be a prisoner on death row. "Okay, I'll tell you everything," he said. "If you want to draw your sword, do it after I finish talking." Jushu turned around and looked into Chen Xing's eyes. "Speak," he said coldly. "Let's see what kind of lie you can come up with. If I start from the very beginning, it will seriously leave you thinking life is too short for such a long story. But since you insist on listening to it, Lord Governor, there's no harm in telling you. There was manna in this world 300 years ago." Jushu frowned a little. He hadn't expected Chen Xing to start by going on about some magic nonsense again. 300 years ago, the world was rife with Yao, mana, and practitioners of magic. Chen Xing saw Jushu's expression, but pretended not to. He walked to one side and slowly began explaining. Okay, so there's some footnotes to talk about. So Hu is a historical term for non-Chinese people who immigrated during northern China. And back then there was basically two factions, and they are a little bit like against each other. So they have some animosity, some mistrust there. And the other one is for mana and yao. So yao is the term for ghost, spirit, similar to yokai in Japanese. And mana is kind of like chi, magic, you know, like the magic within you. That year, Emperor Zhang of the Han Dynasty was on the throne. General Ban Chao was sent to the western regions on a diplomatic mission to settle a 100-year policy. Everyone in the divine land lived a prosperous and content life. Warriors, pill refiners, and feng shui, healers, diviners, alchemists, and astrologers were all flourishing professions. According to the legend, the so-called Yao tribes were banished by powerful exorcists to a region with hundreds of thousands of massive mountains in the southwest of Yizhou and the country of Yelang. They laid layers of enchantments to trap them there until they perished on their own, so that they could no longer meddle in the affairs of the Central Plains. After the Yao were exterminated, only one mission remained for the humans: to seek immortality. The Feng Shui believed that a person would live forever as long as they communicated with heaven and earth, absorbed spiritual qi, and cultivated their magic. However, one day, all the mana in the world suddenly disappeared, with mana vanishing without forewarning. All the world's magical artifacts turned into scraps of iron in the blink of an eye, and the sacred treasure used to exorcise Yao became ordinary too. Incantations and magic lost their effectiveness, from strong magic that could move mountains and fill seas to minor magic like calling on ghosts for good fortune. No matter how much you tried to activate it, no magic would work anymore. Gone. Facing Jushu, Chenxing made an all-gone gesture. Since then, there had been no mana in the divine land. This is what exorcists call the silence of all magic. Oh? Jushu's smile didn't reach his eyes. So what now? Some say that the Xuan Gate that released the spiritual qi of the heaven and earth had been closed, Chenxing said regretfully. Lao Tzu had once said, reaching from the mystery into the deeper mystery is the gate to the secret of all life. So this is a footnote. It says that this is a scripture that is from The Way and Its Virtue. The people of that time thought that the world's spiritual qi was released from the invisible Xuan Gate in the void of the heavens. They believed that the disappearance of mana perhaps meant that the Xuan Gate had closed, and they offered sacrifices to the sky and worshipped the mountains and rivers. They exhausted every means possible, but nothing worked. Fortunately, the Yao tribes didn't launch any large-scale insurrections. After all, in the years when the exorcists had been active, the monster had all been crippled. For now, terrestrial and aerial beasts to cultivate into Yao, they had to absorb spiritual qi from the heavens and earth. Without spiritual qi, they naturally had no way to incite trouble. If they used up the Yao energy to do bad things, without parasitically consuming the energy of others, they'd be expending energy without sustenance. It would be a tiring affair. There were both pros and cons to the silence of all magic. Without monsters, there would naturally be no need for exorcists in the human world. The problem lay elsewhere. While Yao could not cultivate the same, was not necessarily true for demons. Demons are the world's resentment incarnate. Chenxing said, those who die under tragic circumstances will hold grudges. All things are born in the heaven and will return to the earth. When a person enters the heavenly veins, samsara, after death, the resentment they leave behind can't be dispelled. To put it bluntly, the more people die during the plagues, wars, and famines, the easier for resentment to gather. Okay, I see. So there's no break here, but for my peace of mind, I need to just speak on, like, summarize it in an easier way to understand. Basically, 300 years ago, there was so much magic, it's like a fantasy land. Everything was good, prosperous, like magicians, all of that, right? So our character, it seems like he's been sent by a powerful person, maybe many people. He's still here, but he's saying it's quite rare for exorcists to, be here, because now there's no more magic in the land. There's fighting, there's war. Just think of like normal ancient China, ancient Earth, okay? And right now they're saying the wars, the famine, the poverty, all of this causes resentment, which is making the demonic tribes really powerful. So there's also levels to like the evil side, I guess. Yaos are spirits, monsters, and then we got demons and maybe more. So I'm guessing this war is going to feel some type of magic, like demonic magic, and it might start something, because that's why whoever sent him here. And I have not read Legend of Exorcism Beyond Volume 1, but I do know that the heart lamp is a part of that too, and I believe this series takes place before it. So they had the heart lamp, and it usually is connected to someone you love. And also that person will be able to, like, it's usually some angsty, some trials and tribulations in their love, and it's also related to the good and evil of the world. So the themes are there. And I'm kind of glad that I read a bit of that before continuing, and then I started this. So we're getting a lot more to the world before and how certain magic and systems come to be. I feel like this is good for anybody who likes world building, magic, and just expanding on the world of Legend of Exorcism, which is really cool. Okay, let's continue. During Emperor Hui's reign 500 years ago, the imperial Suma family vied for the throne, and 800,000 people died in the civil war. These were years of severe drought in the Guangzhou plains, causing frequent famines, and more than 2 million people died of starvation and illness. During the Yangxia period, Liu Yuan, one of the Xiongnu people, broke through the Huguan country and captured Luoyang, while Liu Yao breached Chang'an's forces in Guangzhou, Guanlong, and other places. Nearly 2 million people died. The Jin family fled to the south towards Jiankang, but were wiped out by the Yangtze naturals Mo. Shulei of the Jia people subdued Jinyang country and its province, injuring and killing more than 2 million people. The Xianbei's Murong clan and the Jin general, Heng Wen, engaged in a colossal battle, killing 400,000 people. The Xianbei, Xiongnu, and Jia tribes wantonly plundered the central plains. They never brought provisions with them and considered the Han people two-legged sheep that could be used as military provisions along the way. When a census of the Central Plains had been conducted by the Jin dynasty 20 years prior, it totaled to 20 million. By the time Ran Min killed Jia Zhao, the population had been recalculated. There was less than 4 million people left. However, Ran Min's victory didn't last long. His city fell, and he was killed by the Murong clan. Jishou country was lost, and the people were slaughtered and had their possessions looted once again. Whoa, that was a lot. I get it. It's info heavy with the history and stuff, but I feel like if it's important enough, they'll remind us again once we get to the arc or whatever is relevant, I'm pretty sure. Do the calculations and remove the remainder, Chen Xing told Zhu Shu. Lord Governor, there are at least 20 million, more than 10 million of which are Han people, who died under the cavalry of the 5 Hu. Millions of Hu people murdered each other too, which further exasperated the birth of resentment. Even though he was certain Chen Xing was lying, Zhu Shu fell into a trance as he listened. The world is in turmoil, and a mortal life is feeble as grass, he murmured. Let's trace this back to an even earlier time, Chen Xing continued, when the Wei, Shu, and Wu families divided the land under the heaven. Endless wars surged during those 100 years, and the number of people who died because of the wars are at least tens of millions. Thus, In the past 300 years, more than 30 million people have died in the divine land. The resentment of these 30 million people wandering between heaven and earth, never leaving, has exceeded the limit that the divine land can accommodate. If it goes on like this, demons will breed in just a few years. As for the birthing process, I've never seen it happen before, and historical records about it are scarce. Putting that aside for now, I'll discuss the key points. Someone has to prepare in advance and remain on guard against the appearance of demons at all times. My ancestors were from Jinyang, and my parents died when I was young. After the war between Fujian and the Murong clan in Huguan's country, I moved to Mount Hua to live in seclusion. He'd been only 7 at the time, but Chenxing could still vividly recall the war from 9 years ago. His house was set ablaze, and his grandmother ordered a loyal servant to send him to an old friend and subordinate in the depths of Mount Hua to study the numerous stars under the heaven and cultivate a method of exorcising demons. In this era, where magic has been silenced, ancient texts passed down through generations were no longer of any use and were left to gather dust. At the age of 16, Chenxing had a dream of a big city that he had never visited. He told his Shufu, who pondered for a long time and concluded it might be Shenyang City. He told Chenxing that dreams were guidance from the heart lamp and that his protector, martial god, awaited him there. He had to find his protector first, since he wouldn't be able to complete his mission without their help. And thus, I came to stand here before you, Chenxing concluded. Finished talking, Jushu slowly pulled his sword out. I waited so long, and what I get is absolutely ridiculous. A story you made up? Chenxing did not retreat. He faced the pointed tip of Jushu's sword head on, placing his right hand on his chest above his heart. He then raised his hand, and a glorious white light actually burst from his palm, moving towards Jushu. Jushu thought the young man had been planning to bluff his way out, so he was shocked by this light erupting out of nowhere. In an instant, he was so dazzled that he couldn't open his eyes. What kind of trick is this? Jushu gripped his sword, momentarily unable to swing it down. This is the heart lamp, said Chenxing. Jushu was stunned. You are indeed a mage. You can emit light? What's the use of this light? It has no use, Chenxing replied honestly. All I can do is glow occasionally. Flabbergasted, Jushu immediately became suspicious. Chenxing shrugged helplessly as he lightly retreated. I read the historical records and learned that the great calamity will befall the world. When the divine land meets its end, the keeper of the heart lamp, accompanied by the protector martial god, will venture out to exorcise demons. The sudden appearance of the heart lamp in this world means the revival of demons is imminent. I must find the martial god, awaken his strength, and help humanity withstand this calamity of Maras. So Mara is, footnote, it says, this is a demon from Buddhist mythology associated with darkness and death. So they are basically the strongest demons that will take over the world. And yes, this is also something mentioned in Legend of Exorcism. Disputes between the Hu and Han people are trivial matters. Once Mara appears, the divine land will be completely overthrown. All living beings will eradicate, and the earth will be cleansed and return to primordial times. Everything will reset from the beginning. Whether you're a Hu or a Han, no one will be able to escape. Jushu was momentarily speechless. I don't want this either, okay? Fusheng said helplessly. Lord Governor, please understand. At least this much. Do you think I wanted to come to Xiangyang? After Shufu died, I quickly packed up things and left Mount Hua, hired a carriage, and rushed to Xiangyang. I somehow managed to get on a boat and into the city without encountering any danger. And I came to the city master's manor and thought that this was the place. Of all people, I had to be the one to inherit the great undertaking of unification and restore the practice of exorcism in the human world. Still, I accepted it. However, for some reason, the readily available able-bodied men were all ignored, and I had to go to the dungeons to find some guy who looked as sick as a ghost, and now I have to figure out how to get out of the city too. At this moment, the registrar delivered the register. I just noticed on my physical copy on page 29, like that bottom paragraph before they tell you like the footnote, they are saying it's Fusheng, but it's clearly Chenxing. So that made me confused. I think it is an error in editing. Let me know if it's on your physical copies or also like your ebook copies. Because I was like, wait, isn't his name Chenxing? Why are they changing it? Anyways, Jushu sheathed his sword to accept the document and immediately began to peruse it. The directory of prisoners has been found. The registrar informed them. The prisoner's name is Shang Shu. He's one of the Hu people. Jushu frowned deeply. Because of the light he'd given off, he believed in Chenxing for now. Chenxing thought for a moment. Whether he is Hu or a Han isn't really important to me. He decided, okay, I'm actually not very fond of Hu people. Well, this will be difficult to deal with, but then again, he doesn't look like one. A Hu? Do any Hu people have the surname Shang? Which tribe? Jushu flipped to the last page of the register. It was a supplementary page of detention directory brought in by the escort officer half a year ago. The first row of words stood out at once. Evildoer Shang Shu. 1 year ago, the commander of the Jianwei Guard wanted this man to be escorted to Jiankang and beheaded after a detailed interrogation. The registrar supplied, but no matter how severely he was tortured, on the way he never uttered a sound. The escort officer died from illness while passing through Xiangyang, so Shang Shu was imprisoned in the city. Their initial intention was to transfer him to Jiankang, but he was momentarily forgotten because there were too many prisoners on death row. He has been imprisoned here ever since. At this time of his capture, there was a massacre of innocent people in Guangzhou, offered as blood sacrifices to the heavens, said Jushu. A total of 2,000 were killed, both Hu and Han people. Men, women, old and young. Not even chickens and dogs were spared. Our great Jin soldiers went to great lengths to capture the culprit. Jushu reluctantly looked at Chenxing at his word about the heart lamp, but he had a new question now. Why would you choose this person? Why was he chosen? Chenxing repeated in disbelief. I don't know either, okay? He was starting to feel worried. Don't tell me that the light flashing before my eyes was a hallucination. Chenxing took the register to see for himself. There were only a few lines. Shang Shu massacred at least 2,000 people, a fierce general of the Hu tribes, speculated to be the military official. The tribe he belongs to is unknown. How could this be? I've already fed him all my medicine, and now you're telling me he's taken thousands of lives. Chenxing said, Didn't I tell you not to free him? Jushu said, Just pick someone else. Pick someone else? It doesn't work like that. Wait, I think I'll still have to give this matter further consideration. I'll ask him in detail when he recovers. What if he was wronged? Chenxing felt ill at ease. He turned and beat a hasty retreat, frowning. Jushu turned around and looked down. From the manor in the northwest part of the city, he gazed beyond the city walls. A dense mass of Qin troops in the far north covered the entire expanse. At the same time, in the guest room in the governor's manor, the man under discussion heaved a sudden, heavy gasp and returned to life. Chen Xing returned to the room, peered into the hallway outside, and then closed the door and looked back at the man. He was alive now. What do I do? Do I have to strangle him to death? But no matter what everyone says, he should at least be allowed to defend himself, right? And he's my protector. He'd already come to consider this man, this Shang Shu, his, so he could hardly strangle him to death. He decided to ask him again when he was able to speak. In the meantime, Chen Xing prepared a basin of hot water to help him clean his body. Your name is Shang Shu? He observed the man's face. Who? The man had a high nose bridge, deep eyes, and a distinct facial features. Emaciation had left his face sunken. His beard hadn't been shaved for 6 months, and his hair was a tangled mess. His whole body was riddled with scars, all old injuries. Chen Xing simply wiped him down. Shang Shu himself could do the rest of the cleaning after he was recovered. While wiping his body, Chen Xing noticed he had slender fingers, distinct knuckles, long limbs, and broad feet, and his legs looked sturdy and robust. He was delighted. My family's protector looks like he's excellent at fighting. Chen Xing retrieved a silver needle from his medicine bag and inserted it to the man's acupoint. At the man's waist, Shang Shu suddenly opened his eyes. Chen Xing immediately retreated, raising the needle to his nose to sniff it. You've been poisoned, he said tentatively. I fed you a revival pill. You won't be able to move or speak for the next 12 hours. At this time tomorrow night, your body will return to normal. Then you'll be able to recover gradually if you eat something. The man's eyes remained open, staring at Chen Xing. His eyes were bright, but he had a dangerous gaze, reminiscent of a beast. Chen Xing tilted his head to the sides and slightly frowned, and thought back to what a specific protector had once said. You're the one chosen by the heart lamp, he started. From this moment on, you're the protector martial god. I'm the great exorcist named Chen Xing, courtesy named Tian Qi. But I've heard that you've killed a lot of people. Is that true? Chen Xing thought for a bit, then reluctantly continued. No matter what you did before, the city will fall in a few days, and if I haven't saved you, you wouldn't have survived. That's something you should know, okay? You can't do anything to me. The man couldn't speak, but his gaze moved elsewhere. Chen Xing pulled the blanket over, covered him with it, and tucked him slightly. He wondered if he should just truss him up with the blanket first, in case he would indeed a homicidal maniac who would explode as soon as the medicine lost its effects. He wouldn't be easy to control if he did. But if that really did happen, he would be the first exorcist ever to be killed by his own protector. That would be too stupid. He spent a long time ruminating over it, and eventually concluded, he was this guy's savior, wasn't he? He didn't look like a rabid dog, so he probably wouldn't slice up his own savior. Chen Xing yawned. He was just too sleepy. He sat at the table and leaned on it, turning his head to look at Shang Shu. After he left Mount Hua half a month ago, he traversed land and water to get to Shangyang, which was surrounded by the Qin army on all sides. He'd used up all his energy just to get into the city, and after several days of anxiety and fear, he still had to think of a way to leave as soon as possible. Chen Xing was honestly too tired. He couldn't even summon the strength to find a rope to tie up Shangshu. He only meant to take a short rest, but somehow, he ended up falling asleep. A blare of noise started Chenxing awake in an instant, with no idea of how long he slept. The Qin army is besieging the city. The city has fallen. Chenxing stood up, still disoriented, a daze. Outside, a loud noise rang, a cacophony of wailing, shouting, and cries of those engaged in battles. No way! What kind of coincidence is this? Chenxing immediately got up and headed outside. All he could hear were the shouts of people fighting and killing one another as they entered the courtyard. There was a whoosh of fire, canister as it sailed overhead and smashed into the roof of the governor's manor, setting it alight. When he ventured further out, he caught a glimpse of burning men and women rushing out into the street and dancing about wildly. The soldiers burst in shouting, "The city has fallen! Leave, leave! The governor is making for the south side of the city. He's confronting the enemy there. Go, don't tarry." Situated in the north, the governor's manor was the first place to bear the brunt of the attack. As soon as they broke through the city's wall, the enemy's cavalry had assaulted it relentlessly. End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. The battle cries outside were getting closer and closer, so Chenxing dashed back to the room. Fireballs whistled through the air as they flew into the city. The Qin army really had broken through. Chenxing had seen the large-scale massacre that would happen once the city's defenses broke down. He had to find a way to escape as soon as possible. He went to shake his newly appointed protector, who would neither move nor speak. Awake, Shangshu, however, had woken up already, and now lying there staring at Chenxing. "I'll find a way to escape from the city with you in tow," Chenxing promised. "Wait here." Not that he needed to tell him to wait. Shangshu couldn't move, as he was wrapped in a blanket to boot. There was no way I can run away with Shangshu on my back, Chenxing thought. He was about to leave to find a horse when the thought came to him that the marauders might rush in to rob the place and end up hacking Shangshu to death. He lifted Shangshu off the bed along with the blanket that he had wrapped up in and stuffed him underneath the bed so that he wouldn't be discovered. "Don't worry," Chenxing assured him. "I have the blessing of Sui-Xing." This is the archaic name for the planet Jupiter. "I've always been able to escape danger, no matter how serious the situation might be." Then he left to search for a horse. So basically, yes, he is very, very lucky. Basically the very opposite of Xielian from TGCF. But when he went out to the courtyard, he found that the stables were empty. All the war horses had been taken, so he had no choice but to look for one outside. The streets were filled with the charred bodies of innocents. The soldiers had wreaked destruction all around them, the two armies wholly absorbed in their fight against each other. Vats of oil came soaring in from outside the city walls, one after another, igniting everything they hit. "Oh, that smells good." Chenxing's stomach actually began to grumble when he smelled the burnt meat. He couldn't find the horse, but he managed to locate a wheelbarrow. It would have to do. Chenxing wheeled it to the gate of the courtyard, but it got stuck there. He ran back to the room to piggyback Shangshu out instead. He was dragging Shangshu out from under the bed when suddenly, the door in the governor's manor banged open with the Qin troops that stormed in. A flash of panicked inspiration struck Chenxing. He immediately stuffed Shangshu back under the bed, overturned the shelves of the room, and threw the pillows and clothes haphazardly across the floor. Then he pulled the curtain down, threw it over the ceiling beam, and tied a knot. He dragged a chair over it to stand on it, extended both arms through the noose, allowing it to cut into his underarms, and kicked the chair away. No sooner did the chair fall to the floor did the two Qin soldiers rush in. Chenxing hung suspended from the beam, his eyes wide open as he stared at the soldiers unblinkingly. It was pitch black, so the soldiers couldn't discern where the rope was tied. All they saw was that someone had hanged themselves. After a look around, they surmised that the place had already been looted. Cursing their bad luck, they kicked the table over and left. Oh, that was really smart, actually, because, of course, they wouldn't kill what's already dead. And that leaves them with some supplies for the road, too, if this room wasn't looted yet. Once the Qin troops left, Chenxing hurried down and dragged Xiangshu out. However, he'd only gotten halfway through hauling him outside when another group of Qin soldiers rushed in from the backyard, so Chenxing hung himself back up again in a hurry. The second groups of soldiers rushed in, looked around, and left as well. Watching all this unfold, Xiangshu was at a loss for words. Chenxing dangled there for approximately 15 minutes to make sure there was no one else coming. Then he untied the knot and came down. He slung Xiangshu over his shoulders and ran towards the backyard, gasping for breath as he went. Someone had taken the wheelbarrow, but in exchange a warhorse had appeared out of nowhere. It looked like a Qin horse, and the corpse of a Qin soldier, impaled by an arrow, hung from the stirrups. "This is great," Chenxing said. "Putting Xiangshu on the horse will definitely be able to escape now." However, Chenxing forgot one important thing. He was quite lucky, but Xiangshu's luck was just average. After Chenxing got on the horse and secured the blanket wrapped from Xiangshu, he rushed out of the alley to the side street, only to find flaming arrows and fire grenades everywhere, as if the heavens had poured a basin of fire over the city. Shangyang City had been instantly transformed into a fiery purgatory. The warhorse neighed and began to gallop along, making the two of them bounce wildly as it went. As he jerked back and forth on the horse, Chenxing turned around to say something to Xiangshu, and abruptly realized Xiangshu wasn't there anymore. Whoa. Chenxing immediately tugged on the reins to stop the horse. Damn it, he fell off. Chenxing turned the horse around and hurried back along the road to look for him. He found Xiangshu lying flat on the ground at the corners of the alley of the main street. Half the blanket had came loose when he fell, but at least Chenxing had found him. Chenxing figured that tying him to the horse was probably his best option. And just as a thought crossed his mind, he found a rope that just happened to be on the saddle. Qin soldiers' saddles are well equipped with necessities, he thought. Chenxing wrapped Xiangshu up properly in his blanket again and tied him up with a rope. Then with great difficulty, he lifted Xiangshu back onto the horse and secured him snugly in place with the rope. As he was tying the knots, a group of Jin soldiers spotted him and charged over. "What are you doing? Are you abducting a civilian woman?" "He's a man," Chenxing said quickly. "This is my father, who's been half paralyzed for many years." He grabbed Xiangshu by the hair to show them his face. The Jin soldiers were on the verge of knocking their arrows and shooting him, but they stopped when they saw that it was indeed a man. "Hurry to the southeast side," they shouted to the two of them. "Don't head north. The governor's manor has been seized, and the north side of the city is overrun by Qin soldiers. Be careful," Chenxing called back to them. The Jin soldiers left. Chenxing was worried that Xiangshu would have fallen off again, so he wrapped the rope around him twice and tightly knotted the ends. Now he was certain that Xiangshu wouldn't fall off. He wiped his sweat and was about to mount the horse when out of nowhere, a stray arrow flew in and lodged itself on the horse's rump. An instant later, the warhorse let out a prolonged whinny, and its forelegs kicked off the ground madly before it dashed northward. Hey, come back!" Chenxing quickly gave chase, but the warhorse galloped away with Xiangshu on its back and vanished into the sea of fire without a trace. Chen Sheng was flabbergasted. He looked all around him. The Jin troops were pouring into the northern part of the city, advancing on the Qin army in full force and sweeping them up in a fierce battle. The killing had driven them all mad with bloodlust. The citizens of Shangyang were lucky that Chen Sheng had briefly tormented them earlier at dusk. Although they had dispersed afterwards, they were all still awake. If they had been asleep by now, they wouldn't have been able to respond as quickly when the Qin army attacked the city. Soldiers or civilians, young or old, everyone in the city knew that once Shangyang fell, there would be a massacre inside the city walls. There would be no survivors then, so each and every one of them now fought with everything they had to stay alive. Chen Sheng ran almost an entire li. This is like a quarter mile. Along the main road, flames engulfed the houses on both sides, and corpses littered the streets. "Where's the horse?" Chen Sheng shouted angrily. "Where did it go? Get your horsey butt back here." Dawn was starting to break. The day looked to be overcast, one with black smoke from the burning city blotting out the sky, and made Chen Sheng choke. Tears streamed from his eyes, and he couldn't stop coughing. He dashed across the Cheval de Frise, erected on the main street, and found himself on the front lines of the war. What happened to his luck now? Did he swap it? Why is this so funny though? I know. In the anime it was very intense, but seeing his inner thoughts and these little moments of dialogue just makes me laugh. A cavalry rider spotted him at once and charged towards him, raising his long sword and swinging it down on him. Chen Sheng yelped and ducked, covering his head. The cavalryman missed, and just as he looked back to see if he had hit his target, his horse galloped forward and rammed him straight into a clothesline, strung up high outside a house. The cavalryman went down, landing headfirst as he hit the ground. His body convulsed uncontrollably, blood streaming from his eyes, nose, and mouth. Excellent, Chen Sheng thought. He ran over and was just about to take the man's weapon when the sound of hooves striking the ground came from behind. Chen Sheng promptly lay down on spot and squeezed under the dead cavalryman. When the Qin cavalry entered, they headed straight for the stronghold in Shangyang City, preparing to fight the Jin troops. In the streets, no one noticed Chen Sheng in the chaos. Another wave of Qin troops passed by. Chen Sheng knew that if he went around searching for Shang Shu, looking like he did now, he would simply be offering his head up on a silver platter. He dragged the cavalryman's corpse into a house and stripped him of his armors and underclothes, so he could put them on instead. At this point in history, the War of Eight Princes had been fought in the north. After the remnants of the Jin court fled south, Liu Kong's Han, Xu Lei's Zhao, Shanbei's Murong, Yan, Ranmin's Wei, and now Fujian's Qin all took turns on stage, one performing after the next. They founded their own countries where the bloodlines of the Hu and Han people intermingled, and so many of these people among the Qin army were Han. Chen Sheng didn't look particularly conspicuous after changing into a set of Qin gear, except for the slightly oversized helmet and armor. Despite his complete exhaustion, Chen Sheng hastily fastened the band of his helmet and ran northward. While he ran, he kept an eye out for abandoned war horses to see if he could find Shang Shu. He darted past the Jiaoming Terrace in the city center. A Qin commander suddenly stopped him. "Hey you, which unit are you from?" "Me?" Chen Sheng asked. "Are you talking to me?" Chen Sheng spoke in Ya vernacular. This is basically a dialect. So the commander assumed that he was a Chang'an guard. "What are you in such a rush for?" he shouted. "Head northwest." I was about to head over. Chenxing said, "Give me a horse. We don't have any." With that, the commander shoved a shield into Chenxing's hands. Chenxing had no choice but to hold it. "After you pass Jiaoming Terrace, head west to protect the flammable cart," he yelled. "The entire Jin army has been dispatched, so now's our chance. Push the cart to the drum tower. Be careful." So, Chenxing had to hurry to catch up with the huge cart in front of him. The two horses pulled it bucked restlessly in their positions and neighed with fear, while two Qin soldiers tried to pacify them. The commander pushed from behind, shouting, "Hurry up, let's go, quickly now." A whistle sounded high in the air. Tens of millions of flaming arrows shot out of the governor's manor in the center of the city and rained down on everyone's head, a fiery downpour. Chenxing wanted to take this chance to steal a horse. He ran over, his shield in front of him, but the commander shouted, "Get on the cart! Get in the cart! Don't worry about me!" Chenxing jumped onto the cart. A swathe of flaming arrows that blotted out the sky cascaded down like raindrops. The commander was struck and his whole body instantly caught ablaze. He cried out in agony, "Help! Help!" How could Chenxing be so heartless as to keep going? He went to put out the fire on the commander's body, but the commander fell backward, pulling the oil-filled canisters down with him. He spilled their contents over his body, igniting himself with a loud whoosh. "Ooh, oh yikes," and let out a blood-curdling screech from within the flames. The two soldiers saw that things had gone south and turned their back to help. But Chenxing called out to them, "It's too late to save him. Just come back." Fires broke out everywhere. Chenxing quickly got on the cart. He had to drag it, laden with fire canisters, away from the flames. However, as soon as he sat on the driver's seat, flames started burning in the open-top containers behind him. The two horses pulling the chariot were spooked and wouldn't listen to anyone's instructions. They dragged the chariot forward, fiercely burning fire canisters and all, bringing Chenxing, who was driving it, along on their mad dash. "To the north!" Chenxing shouted. He yanked the reins, trying his best to control the direction of the galloping horses. When he steered them from the west to the north, he promptly crashed throughout the frontmost line of the battle between the Qin and Jin armies. Amidst a brilliantly burning blaze, he stormed the rear of the Qin army. "Where's Shangshu?" Chenxing looked back and caught a glimpse of an utter disaster. Fire canisters spat out, one after another, and there were very few people around. He passed through a wall of fire to hear the panicked shouts of a small unit of cavalrymen. "What are you doing? Where did you come from? Stop, stop!" I want to stop too," Chenxing called to them over his shoulder, "but they're not listening to me." Chenxing looked everywhere for his lost horse, but to his alarm, the flaming cart barreled over to the main street. All the cavalrymen on patrol were frightened out of their wits at the sight, and everyone started chasing Chenxing. Yet no matter how desperately the cavalrymen spurred their war horses on, their speed was ultimately limited. On the other hand, the horses dragging Chenxing's cart had fire licking at their backs, so they galloped at the speed beyond anything any normal horse could achieve. It really was true that the horse burned by the coachman would leave 10,000 cavalrymen in the dust. The horses trampled everything below their hooves as they stampeded through the long streets like streaks of lightning, heading back to the governor's manor in the north. When the Qin army breached the inner part of Shangyang City 6 hours ago, they took the governor's manor as their first temporary stronghold, commanding it as a base to transport oil, vats and arrows, gather troops, and started street battles. As long as their line of defense advanced in an orderly manner, seizing Shangyang City within 3 days would be a breeze. At this moment, a large number of Qin generals and military counselors were discussing operational logistics within the manor. "We haven't located Shulu Kong yet. Must be in the city. The camp is under attack. The camp is under attack." These gathered commanders were about to suffer the worst luck of their lives. Among their numbers were the great General Murong Cui, the Zhonglong General Shi Yue, and the Prince of Changlei, Fu Pi. The three of them were studying a map on the desk. A group of counselors had proposed to either burn Shengyang or defeat the enemy by capturing their leader, and they were embroiled in a heated debate. It was too late to set up a cheval de frise, as the battlefront had already been pushed to the Jiaoming Terrace. In the center of the city, most of the guard who defended the rear were no different from rabid dogs. They rushed to the south of the city to fight over whoever could collect the most human heads and win the biggest rewards. Who could have imagined that the enemy would attack them here at such a moment? "Who dares?" Fu Pi shouted furiously, raising his sword as he prepared to meet the enemy head-on. The three main commanders, including Murong Cui and Shi Yue, were all powerful generals who could go up against 100 enemies by themselves. Individual assassins were nothing in their eyes, so who could have the guts to attack their camp? What an absolute fool. Where's the enemy? At the entrance. No sooner had the words left the mouth of Chen Xing that Chen Xing shouted, "Get out of my way! There's oil coming! Oh my gosh! Ah!" The flaming cart made its grand entrance. Murong Cui had just dashed out of the door when he came face to face with Chen Xing. He thought to himself that this disaster was imminent and whirled around to flee for his life. Chen Xing no longer cared who he was going to crash into. He leaped out into the courtyard and jumped into the pond, breaking through a thin layer of ice to hide in water. Before he could directly confront the enemy, the cart knocked Fu Pi over. The wheels tripped over the threshold, and all the vats of burning oil of the cart flew into the hall. Chen Xing didn't dare to look over his shoulders and scrambled to escape. He turned around the midst of explosions and stumbled out, and just in time too, because behind him the entire manor burst into flames. With a loud blast, panicked shouts echoed as people started running outside. The roof collapsed from the explosion, and the entire cavalry retreated to the stronghold to rescue the people from catastrophe. The Qin camp was burned down. The Jin army witnessed all this playing out from a distance in front of the Jiaoming Terrace, and their morale immediately soared. Zhu Shu gathered his remaining 8,000 men, and they hacked their way through the main city. Chen Xing took off his helmet at a complete loss as he watched the scene before him. The Qin troops had suddenly suffered a landslide defeat and were all retreating. The places the Qin had seized, Jiaoming Terrace, the main street, Lu Tai Road, and the south of the city, and all of the other streets and alleys were being recaptured by the fierce Jin soldiers who were unafraid of death. But where is he? Chen Xing was becoming impatient. He threw his helmet onto the ground and looked around in a daze. Billowing black smoke blotted out the sun. Chen Xing's face was filthy with soot and smoke. Suddenly, something occurred to him. He closed his eyes and stood there quietly. In an instant, his world was deathly silent. The cries of the battle seemed to echo from far away, and a distant light flashed in the darkness. Another flash. Amidst the tranquility, Chen Xing abruptly turned around, stepping across the blood-drenched ground and quickly turning into an alley. He passed through the residence's backyard, and there it was, his warhorse. The horse with Shangshu still tied to its back was stuck at the entrance. Shangshu's body stuck out too far at either side, thudding into walls again and again as the horse tried to go inside. Oh, poor guy. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. It ended on a light note, and I'm glad that it did. That was absolutely chaotic and hilarious if you think about it, because I was like, where is the good luck? Because all I see is he's about to die. The horses are going crazy. It's charging into the lion's den, the enemy's camp, and he's gonna die. But of course, this proves that his luck actually changed the entire war. How crazy. They're like, yeah, don't worry. The generals of the Qin were just thinking that they got this in the bag. They're gonna take over the city in a couple of days, and it was looking very sad and dire. But because of this flaming war horse full of canisters of oil, it's just like exploded everything. The main tent with all of the generals and stuff. I think a prince like ran away for his life when he saw that, as he should have. And I think they're down for the count. Like, they are, all the top commanders in that tent were either dead or really, really injured. So they won't be back for a while. And it looks like they actually like won the war. But the funniest part was, you're telling me this whole time this man has his wrist, his legs tied, and he's like flopping around the horse, and now the horse is going crazy without a driver. It's trying to barge into, like, I guess, this entranceway, and they can't fit, so his body is just being banged again and again until the horse could fit. Like, how many injuries is this man gonna suffer before he gets up? Like, he is so gonna kill the main character. But I guess they can't, because they're connected by the lamp, and it seems like they will help each other unlock their powers, I guess. Our main character has like divine good luck on his side, as well as like he seems quite smart as well, and he'll probably be the brains of the operation. Meanwhile, the other one will be the brawn. But I cannot wait to see them reunite in the next chapter. Chapter 4. The 4th year of the Taiyuan period, 2nd day of the 2nd lunar month. Conflagrations in Shangyang City obscured the sky. As a lone rider charged out of the besieged city, breaking through the black smoke and galloping far away from the carnage to the south. At noon, with the blazing sun high in the sky, Chen Xing urged his horse onward as he fled Xiangyang with Shang Shu. They had already covered nearly 20 miles by then. The roads along the way were jam-packed. All that could be seen on South Dangyang Road were commoners fleeing from calamity with families. Wails of anguish swept across the land. The road was so congested, people could hardly take a step forward, and the cries of those searching for their loved ones seemed to go on endlessly. 150 years ago, Guan Yu had heavily besieged Cao Wei's garrisons outside the city, drowning his 7 armies and securing a glorious victory. Later, the defeated had fled to My City, and the route they had taken was the one they were on now. Sorrowful cries shook the heaven and earth, as if mourning for the immortal god of war, who lived in the divine land for years past. Chen Xing was fraught with anxiety. He couldn't pass through the crowd, so he had no other choice but to take a detour through a side path. When they reached the foot of the mountain, he set Shang Shu down and untied the layers of rope he was trussed up in. In an era of war, every 9 houses out of 10 were deserted in Jiangzhou. People either migrated south to Zhaoji or fled east to Jiankang, Gusu, and other such places. Chen Xing made his way through the woods and found a small village nestled at the foot of the mountain. As winter gave way to spring, the afternoon mist was beginning to rise, creating a tranquil atmosphere. It was evident that the village had also gone through some kind of disaster that had left it in shambles. All the livestock and guard dogs were gone. Chen Xing trespassed into 2 houses and saw no one. so he had to try to find some water from the well for Shangshu to drink. When he inspected Shangshu's complexion, he was relieved to find that despite the previous night's turmoil, Shangshu was still in decent shape. The 12-hour mark was at hand. After the effects of the medicine waned, Shangshu's meridian should be able to recover. Chen Xing needed to find some food quickly to help him restore his physical strength. This guy was really too skinny. He'd probably looked pretty good after some nourishment. According to Jushu's register, Shangshu was 20 years old this year, only 4 years older than Chen Xing. However, among the Hu people, it was not uncommon for men to marry and start families as young as 13. As at his age, Shangshu was more than capable of establishing his own household and career. Protector, do you feel better? Chen Xing was backlit by the sunlight as he studied Shangshu's appearance. Shangshu's face was covered in soot from all the smoke, and since he had a tall structure to begin with, now he looked just like a savage. When Chen Xing looked himself, though, he wasn't much better off. After all, the chaos and turmoil, the two of them looked like a pair of beggars. Chen Xing fetched some water and helped Shangshu wipe his face. The effect was astonishing. Beneath the grime, Shangshu's eyes remained clear and bright. His face was gaunt with thick eyelashes, eyebrows as sharp as swords, and eyes as fathomless as the night sky. The lips that peeked through his messy beard were now rosy thanks to the medicine. With just a bit of grooming, he would definitely be an exceptionally handsome man. My family's protector is so good looking. Chen Xing couldn't help but exclaim, "Ah, what a handsome piece of jade." And other than that part, which absolutely satisfied the size standards of Hu people, neither his facial features nor his skin reflected his ethnicity at all. How could he be a Hu? Girl, what the heck? We are checking him out when he's half paralyzed? What do you mean? That part. Stop. This is so funny. Like, that is coming out of nowhere. This is so funny. Okay, I need to bookmark that part. Yep. Sticky tab in there. Anyways, I do not know what's up with the Hu versus Han. Like, they said something about them having, like, a lot of conflict and stuff. But really, does it really matter? Didn't he say, like, in times of war, it doesn't even matter? So, don't know why they're so, like, stuck up in these ways of, like, the Hu versus the Han. Maybe we'll get more context later on. Or maybe, like, his backstory or something. Maybe his family was harmed by the Hu. Dress him in a refined robe and hang an ancient sword by his waist, and he would become an impeccable scholar. As he trod lightly in wooden clock and whistled crisply in the moon above, the literati in Jing Kang, who knew only the Effet language, without substance, would all have to stand aside. Chen Xing didn't really have any requirements for his protector's appearance, though. Anything was fine, as long as his protector could fight. The road ahead was long and abundant with thistles and thorns. Someone like Chen Xing, whose only redeeming feature was his good luck, could only rely on the heavens for help when facing his enemies. So having a protector who was skilled in fighting was at the utmost importance. But good-looking men were pleasing to the eye, and being in the company of one could lift the spirits. Thank goodness, Chen Xing thought. Hopefully this new protector won't turn out to be a useless decorative ornament like me. Oh, so he thinks he's hot, but doesn't have a lot of skills too. I'm dying. I love that we're self-aware, and I love that instantly he's like, yep, he's hot. And he's all like, I don't really care how they look, but honestly, if he looks hot, that's better. That's great. It lifts up the spirit. It makes the mood a little bit better. I heard that the emperor of Great Qin, Fu Jian, is fond of good-looking men. Chen Xing sat under the tree with Shang Shu's head rested on his thigh, casually wiping Shang Shu's neck for him. I heard he wanted to take care of Murong Chong in his palace. In a few months, we'll need to find an opportunity to go north to Chang'an, tidy you up a little, then rely on your good looks to seduce him. Shang Shu's finger twitched lightly. Chen Xing got up and went to the riverbank to wash the cloth. The creek was filled with crushed ice, and the flowing water was bone-chilling cold. Whether you're Hu or Han, it doesn't matter, he continued, as long as you don't kill people as and when you wish. Then, before he could finish his sentence, Chen Xing took a blow to the back of his head and passed out at once. I knew it. I knew no way in hell would he like being tied up and paraded around the city, because he was still conscious and he knew everything that happened. This is so funny. A quarter of an hour later, Chen Xing's face was doused with cold water. He woke up and realized that he had been stripped of his outer robe. He wore only an unlined garment with a blanket wrapped around him. Oh, he wants to get his lick back. He wants to tie him now and see how he feels. He had been tied up by Shang Shu, then carried out and placed in the backyard. As soon as he woke up, Chen Xing started yelling, "Is this how you're gonna treat the guy who saved you?" Shang Shu casually examined Chen Xing's belongings. There was a charcoal stove nearby with the fire under it, and a pot of white rice porridge was being cooked on top. It was probably the last bit of rice from the farmer's house. "Asshole!" Chen Xing shouted, "Say something!" Shang Shu fiddled with Chen Xing's dagger, briefly flipping it back and forth before setting it aside, inspecting his medicinal pouch. He didn't recognize any of the medicinal items inside. Chen Xing wrapped up tight, like a caterpillar couldn't move. Shang Shu went to the well to draw a bucket of water, then stripped himself bare with no care for Chen Xing, who could see him. He had already seen everything anyways. Shang Shu bathed and washed his hair. After the bath, he looked into the water as he used Chen Xing's dagger to shave off his beard. "Hey!" Chen Xing was still yelling. "Hey!" His face was shaved clean. In less than an hour, Shang Shu had tidied himself up nicely. When he turned around, despite being so skinny, he barely looked human. His handsome features were apparent. His deep, piercing eyes held a profound intensity, and the contours of his face were sharper and distinct, exuding an unmatched vigor. He sat down in the front of the stove and began to eat. Chen Xing's stomach rumbled noisily. After finishing the porridge, Shang Shu entered a room, where he rummaged around for and found 2 unlined garments belonging to the man who had owned the horse. He changed into them. The owner of the house had been a hunter before he died, and Shang Shu took his outdoor hunting clothes and tied up the marshal's sleeves. When he appeared again, the clothes were a little small on him, but he still had somewhat a majestic air about him. Chen Xing was speechless. He actually forgot about everything else for a moment. All he could think was, he's obviously a Han. How could he be a Hu? I think the Han is more known for the scholars, the nobles, the rich men, right? While the Hu people are living in the outskirts, they are more hunters and gatherers of the society. And they're known to be more aggressive and all of that. Shang Shu grabbed the hunter's bows and arrows, bundled up the Chen Xing's dagger, robes, and medicinal bag, and grabbed the reins and mounted the horse. He glanced at Chen Xing with a cold, detached expression. Chen Xing struggled. "Let me go," he pleaded. "If you leave me tied up here, I'll die." Shang Shu turned the horse around. Chen Xing was still shouting. "Do you not want to be a protector? If you don't want to, then don't. When did I ever provoke you? I saved your life. And I even had the chance to kill you, but see, I didn't." Shang Shu had his back to Chen Xing. He had spurred the horse into a slow amble, But when he heard those words, he slowly came to stop. He knocked an arrow to his bow and turned it on Chen Xing's direction. Chen Xing was tongue-tied. Shangshu released the arrow, and it shot over with a whoosh. Chen Xing shut his eyes tight, but he felt the ropes around his body loosen. They had been sliced by the arrow. Shangshu shouted. He steered his horse onto the main road and left the village. Hey! Chen Xing ran out dressed in only an unlined garment, gritting his teeth. Get back here! Protector! Protector! Ugh, you jerk. That was the first time Chen Xing heard Shangshu's voice. That "yeah" was clear and powerful, and resonated through the air. Chen Xing couldn't help but thinking, my family's protector has a really nice voice. Wait, no. A bastard. He's a bastard. Why did my protector run away? Stop. This is so funny. What do you mean? It's slow burn. Like, clearly he already thinks like he's hot. His voice is nice. What else? As the sun set, the cold wind gusted by. Chen Xing stood in the village, looking all around him, with a blank expression. What do I do now? Chen Xing was utterly dumbstruck. His stomach growled again. I'm so hungry. Shangshu left some food behind. Why don't I just eat first? He was starving by this point, so he wanted to hurry up and eat before thinking about anyone else. He didn't even know where that bastard ran off to. What on earth had Chen Xing ever done to provoke him? As Chen Xing thought about it, though, he almost flipped the whole pot of porridge over. Night descended on Jingzhou, bringing with a sudden chill that swept across the land. Chen Xing sought refuge in an abandoned house and rummaged around for some clothes to wear. Unexpectedly, a dog appeared, barking incessantly at him. Chen Xing patiently calmed the dog down. Finding some food, fed it to appease its hunger. The dog, now nourished, seemed to gradually accept its fate of abandonment and shared the cold night with Chen Xing. Wrapped in whatever he could find in the desolate house, Chen Xing held the dog close, shivering. It's so cold. How did it come to this? The protector chosen by the heart lamp is actually a jerk. Chen Xing lamented bitterly in his heart. In the chilling night, he couldn't help but think back on the expectations that reality had shattered for him. On the day he left the mountains, he never imagined that things would eventually turn out like this. His steadfast belief stemmed from the long-standing tradition. Throughout history, every exorcist had always been accompanied by a protector, whose purpose was to protect the exorcists during their exorcisms and ensure that they wouldn't be disturbed. The protector by the side of the great exorcist, who oversaw headquarters, bore the illustrious title of martial god. Today, Chen Xing was the only remaining exorcist in the world, so naturally, he was the great exorcist. As for the martial god, the heart lamp had appointed Shangshu as his protector. Chen Xing had read many ancient texts, including a silk calligraphy remnant he found. It was half of the sacrificial ritual, written by the protector Wan Che, from the exorcist Xin Yuanping. Xin Yuanping had died fighting the demonic dragon of the Sea River, which Wan Che later exterminated. After he avenged Xin Yuanping, Wan Che drowned himself by jumping into the Sea River and was forgotten. In the Han Dynasty, Xie Yiwu, the great exorcist who became the governor of Xingzhou, never married or had children. He was accompanied by General Hu Bi, whose reputation was renowned through the land and the Jianghu. This is known as the martial arts world. Number 1 swordsman of the time, Wang Yue. Together they became the legends of their generation. In even more recent times, Zhang Liang, the Marquess Liu, became the disciple of Huang Shigong and was proficient in various arts. As for his protector, Opinions about him were varied and conflicting. Some said his protector was Xiao He, while others said it was a Han Xin. But when Zheng Liang fled under the pretense of death several years later, Han Xin was trapped and killed by Xiao He and Lu Hou. Historians criticized Xiao He extensively, leading many to speculate that Han Xin had served as Zheng Liang's protector. There were also tales suggesting that the Han Dynasty, the Great Exorcist, had two protector martial gods on either side of his seat. Half asleep, Chen Xing became immersed in the memory of his Shufu in his final days. Sui Xing is part of your fate. It is everything you'll rely on in your life, and it is a barrier that you'll eventually have to overcome. Sui Xing reincarnates once every 100 years and only stays in the human world for 20. Once 20 years have passed, it will return to the heavens. That is, they're talking about the heart lamp. So my good luck will only last until I'm 20? No, far from it. When the time comes, Sui Xing will be released from the natal chart. Shufu paused and turned his back to within the maple forest. Under what circumstances does someone lose their ruling star of their life? You should know the answer to that question already, so I don't need to explain further. Chen Xing felt as if he had been struck by a thunderclap. I won't live past 20? Fate is predetermined by the heavens, Shufu replied calmly. Everything in this world follows its own path of growth and decline, and everything has a place it must ultimately return to. Heaven has bestowed that destiny upon you. Why not make the most of your limited time and do something meaningful for the divine land? Shufu's voice echoed in his ears. Since you had the dream, make a trip to Shangyang. You're the great exorcist. Within you lies the only functional heart lamp in this world. In these desolate times, amidst the dark nights, when all the stars are hidden, you are the seed of the light in the human realm. Over the next 4 years, you must do everything you can to reclaim the world's lost mana. Discover why the spiritual qi of heaven and earth had dried up. Use your heart lamp to illuminate the vast expanse around you. Of course, if you wish to idle away the remainder of your time before your 20th birthday, then search for your Tao. With the brief time that you have left, go, seek it out. So Tao, also known as Taoism, is a philosophical way or path to life. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe the amount of books where the main characters die at age 20. Yeah. What are the coincidences? This is just meant to be. Like, I was wondering what book I should pick up next, like as a volume 1 taste test. And I was like, you know what? I saw these sitting on my new pretty bookshelves. And I was like, yes, the cover and everything, have to read it. But it's taking me forever. Like, these chapters are chunky. I might just do 3 chapters after this instead of 4 per video, like recording, because my throat is just done. Like, after a certain amount of time, like an hour of reading, I'm like, no more. I might have to stop soon, but I'll probably read like 3 chapters next time. The day after Shang Shu's departure, Chen Xing scavenged the nearby houses for rations. He fed the dog until it was full, then donned a large floral patterned jacket meant for the mistresses of the house, and carelessly tossed on a pair of men's cotton trousers he had found. They made for a makeshift outfit, but they would at least help him fight off the cold. With his horse, silver, and medicine bag, all snatched up by Shang Shu, he set off on foot, heading towards my city to find a way to acquire travel expenses for his journey to Chang'an. When the dog saw Chen Xing leave, it chased after him, wagging its tail as it followed. No, I don't like animal companions if they don't talk, if they're not powerful, because most likely they'll be abandoned or hurt on the way. Oh no, my poor baby. Chen Xing took a deep breath, thinking of Xiangshu. All he'd done for the dog was feed it, but here it was following him. Xiangshu couldn't even measure up to the dog. Forget it. Shufu had always said not to take too much to heart. There were still many days to come. If they were truly destined to meet again, Xiangshu wouldn't be able to run away. And if they weren't, then what was there to be angry about? Still, less than half a month after leaving the mountain, the setbacks Chen Xing had faced him left him extremely dispirited and downcasted. He really couldn't understand where he had gone wrong. While his imagination ran wild, a fleeing horse-drawn carriage suddenly stopped on the roadslide. "Hey, get on! Where are you from?" a madam said to let you on. Perplexed, Chen Xing hesitated for a moment. It was early in the morning, and many people were traveling south towards my city with their families, including some well-to-do families who had escaped from the north. Chen Xing, wearing a thick floral patterned jacket with a dog trailing behind him, looked like a foolish son of a landlord. He'd been born good-looking. Besides, so people, more or less, couldn't bear seeing him suffer, which prompted a convoy to slow down and pick him and his dog up along the way. Yay, the dog. I hope, if anything, we're leaving it in the care of this madam, the family, a rich family. The family Chen Xing was traveling with had fled from Fan City. The master, in his 50s, was accompanied by his wife, a 10-year-old daughter. When the old lady in the family and her servant girls had learned that Shanyang City fell, she hastily decided to flee southward, preparing to pass through my city en route to Changsha country to take refuge with relatives. The master was rather advanced in years. He had fled in a panic late at night with his family, and when he heard about the Wanton massacres and the suffering of the Han people, he was overcome with boundless sorrow. Struggling to breathe, lying motionless in the carriage, unable to move, in both eyes shut tight, he teetered on the brink of death. Chen Xing was grateful for the assistance, first thanked the elderly lady. He briefly introduced himself as a scholar from the south, then turned his attention to the ailing master. What happened? Chen Xing checked his pulse, then inquired about his symptoms. Is he ill? Do you have any needles? Lend me one. He'll be fine after a session of acupuncture. The old lady quickly ordered someone to retrieve an embroidery needle. Chen Xing heated it before applying it to the old man, and sure enough, after being pricked 7 times, the man spat out a mouthful of congested blood and gradually regained consciousness. "A divine doctor!" people cried out. "Divine doctor!" Everyone was in a flurry to thank Chen Xing for saving their master's life. With such modesty, Chen Xing quickly waved his hand in acknowledgement, and the group continued on their route to my city. Along the way, Chen Xing shared a brief account of his experience being robbed by Xiangshu, prompting sighs of sympathy from his companions. The madam tutted. "You didn't find a bodyguard, you found trouble. Public morals are declining with each passing day," she added solemnly. "People aren't what they used to be." Isn't that right? Chen Xing felt a bit better after pouring his heart out. As strangers who had come together by chance, they parted ways when they reached my city. The family put together 42 silvers as a thank you gift, along with an extra roast chicken. Chen Xing held the heavy silver ingots. They weighed about 3 pounds, and said his farewells. He had money again. He should change into a fresh set of clothes first, then convert the silver into gold. The silver would be uncomfortable weighing down his trousers. Inconvenience aside, carrying such heavy silver around also made him an easy target for thieves. On the day my mother gave birth to me, Chen Xing recounted to his dog. It's said that Sui Xing descended to earth. My luck has been remarkably good ever since. Look, now we have a roasted chicken to eat, huh? Chen Sheng split the roast chicken in half and shared it with the dog. Then he sought out a public bath for a relaxing soak and headed to a clothing store. He picked his clothes out meticulously before settling on his final purchase. The new outfit instantly restored his noble, gentlemanly appearance, and to top it off, he even brought a small mink jacket for the dog. Oh, so cute. Please don't die. With that taken care of, he confidently strode to the bank. Although my city was quite small at the time, it boasted all the essential necessities, serving as the largest distribution center for the exchange of goods. It had thrived since Xiangyang fell under siege a year prior, attracting passing businessmen to conduct their transactions here instead. While the Jin army had failed to rescue Xiangyang, retaining my city promised some degree of self-sufficiency. News of Xiangyang city's fall had made its way here via the people fleeing south, and its streets bustled with refugees overnight. The inns, tea house, and restaurants in the cities were crowded with wealthy people heading south. There was a hubbub of heated discussion. Some pledged donations and volunteered as laborers to bolster the army's efforts, while others deemed the city unsafe and advocated for traveling south as soon as possible. The pervasive tension kept everyone on edge. Priorities were clear. Exchange money at the bank first, then proceed to the government office for customs clearance document. With that taken care of, travelers could smoothly head north to Chang'an. Given the ongoing conflict between Qin and Jin nations, prudent handling of the customs procedures were imperative. Chen Sheng entered the bank carrying a 3-pound bundle of silver. The bank had already cleared out as people were preparing to flee. As he stepped into the main hall, a peculiar silence greeted him, permeated with an unsettling atmosphere. "Sir, I want to change," Chen Sheng began, but he was abruptly came to a halt. The bank assistant, bank teller, and even the bank's hired thugs had their mouths agape, and their wrists and ankles were bound with iron rods torn from the bank's windows. As soon as they heard Chen Sheng enter, all of them turned to look at him with their mouths open. Their jaws had been dislocated, giving them an uncanny resemblance to glowering geese. A man leaned casually against the cashier's window, his body angled to the side, as his left hand rested on the counter. Clad in hunter's clothes, the man was none other than Shang Shu. Shang Shu knocked on the counter with his finger to prompt the teller to take the money out. The teller trembled, with his mouth agape from his dislocated jaw, used a slide rule to arrange a row of gold ingots for Shang Shu. I see, so it looks like he used brute force. As he wrapped them up in a small bundle, he shot a panicked glance at Chen Sheng, signaling him to flee. Shang Shu turned his head slightly. When he heard Chen Sheng, their eyes locked. The group of Jin soldiers was passing by outside. Without a moment's hesitation, Chen Sheng roared, "Help! Someone's robbing the bank!" They are so funny. I love this, frenemies dynamic. I can't believe he's robbing the bank. I mean, it's very smart, okay? How else is he gonna get money? On short notice, I guess. And that is the end of chapter 4, so I'll leave you there. I'm praying to all the Danmei gods that nothing happens to this beautiful creature of a dog. He's such a good boy, and he even got his own coat. I'm like, we can't kill him off, right? Please. But I don't even see how he's gonna survive in this war-torn country. I thought what would happen was Chen Sheng will leave him with that wealthy family that he made friends with and be like, yeah, peace. I got things to do, but take care of my dog. I mean, it might still happen. They just started to get into the city, even though it seems like they're just passing through, and Chang'an seems to be the main destination that everyone wants to go because it's think of LA, it's where the main spot is. Okay, maybe not LA, but you know what I mean, the city. and I feel like people are just safer there than the border towns. So that's where we're going, and I am pleasantly surprised by everything that happened. I thought the pacing was pretty good. I think the slow burn aspect does come from like people saying later on the plot it's heavy and stuff like that, and we don't get so much momentum building, but I think there's a lot of good setup here with just their characters, their personalities alone, and just how they started off like on the wrong foot all the time, and they keep on bumping into each other. So fate is bringing them together for sure, and I can't wait to see them collaborate at the end of this. So I think I'm just gonna leave my thoughts there because it's been like 2 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. It's a new channel. 1,000 subs are needed and 4,000 watch time. So watch this, rewatch this, go on my channel. We have some previews up for Thrice Married to a Salted Fish, and also a couple more Danmei silent reading volume 1s. I'm just doing all the volume 1s that I have, I guess, in the order that I want, because there's been a lot of new Danmei sitting on my shelf. I'm thinking next one is in between Missville, though that might be like Patreon only, or Run Wild, which I do have 2 volumes of. Legend of Exorcism, they have an audiobook for, and there was a sale, so I already got it. I don't love it because I feel like if it's Danmei fans like me or other read-along like creators, even though it's not perfect, it's not like perfected with the whole team behind it, there's some like more passion, you know, when you're interested in the genre, when you're actually interested in these stories. So I do prefer that, but you know, it's there for you. I have 6 volumes of it though, so perhaps one day we'll cover that. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.